Namaskaram, Okyeame.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you very much.
Wonderful talking to you. How's Ghana doing, huh?
Ghana is doing amazing.
Ah.
Doing amazing.
How's the corona situation? Not too bad?
Not too bad, not at all, because we have been dealing with corona for the past 500 years, so they couldn't get us down because like we are ready for it. And plus the sun, and we have all sorts of strange diseases, malaria, and different types that we've been fighting with. So corona is not too much.
That's a good one. I hope we won't take 500 years to get there.
Thank you, sir. This is so surreal. I can't actually believe that I'm talking to you.
You are. You are talking, but with long distance though.
Yes. And please, let me start by saying how I found you. About 5 years ago, I turned 40. And when I turned 40, life began for me. And so my body started telling me that it did not appreciate the way I was conducting. So I became partially depressed. And my music career wasn't going as I expected. Things were not going as I expected. So I began to lose sleep. I couldn't eat well. And then it brought me on a journey to find out what have I been doing wrong. And so on the journey, I watched stuff, read books, and then I found you on YouTube.
I don't live there. Okyeame, I don't live there.
I know. And then I found you on YouTube, and by just watching your videos alone, I could sleep well. And then by listening to you, I realized that I had developed so many personalities. I was a different person at home, a different person on stage, a different person in the office, and that was the thing that was weighing down on me. And as I searched and as I looked, and I tried my best to drop all those, I became a much freer person.
Wonderful.
Now when people speak to me, when I'm listening to somebody, I do not judge it or criticize it in my head or analyze it. I listen to exactly what is being told to me, and now I hear clearer. So thank you very much.
Wonderful.
Thank you. So, please, my first question is that I wish to know what is the connection between spirituality and rhythm and music and consciousness. Because here in Ghana, we have an adage that we say, Onipa enema obosom sa, meaning that it is man who makes a piece of clay dance, and our ancestors could collect a piece of clay and use music and some sacrifices to get it to move, speak to them, and even possess spirits that was even much bigger than the one who made it. Please explain to me, how does these things happen?
There are too many questions packed in that one question. So let me put it this way. So essentially, spirituality means we are trying to look at not just life, that which is the source of life. So the source of life, see, the source of life is within us, otherwise you wouldn't be able to build this body from the food that you ate. The food that you ate doesn't look like you, doesn't smell like you, doesn't taste like you, but you take it in and it becomes you because the source of creation is throbbing within us. If we touch the creation, we call this a good life. If we touch the source of creation, we say this is spiritual because it has transcended the limitations of physical. The human interest in knowing the source of their life is across the planet. There are no geographical limits for this. Everywhere it's happened in their own unique ways. But fundamentally, once they touch that dimension or that aspect, everybody will say the same thing because Fortunately, we are all made from the same stuff, we are all from the same source of life on this planet. When we say we are all, it's not just about you and me. Even an elephant and an ant and the virus is all from the same source. It is just that we pretend to be different. Because of our pretension, so much conflict happens in the very way we live. So spirituality means essentially to live more at the core than at the periphery, so that all conflicts are gone. Because periphery, there seems to be… everything seems to be different. You and me are absolutely different on the surface. But if you go a little deeper, all differences melt away and the same source exists. This is not just for human beings, this is for every life, it is true. So spiritual process is not about this species alone. Spiritual process is about being able to experience everything that is life here. Because in our own body, today scientists are telling you this, as you said about the Ghana virus situation. The thing is, only 10% of the cells in this body are human cells carrying our genetic content. 90% are microbial life. There is more bacteria and virus in this body than our own cells, that is 90 to 10%. So, we are only 10% human, rest is all microbes doing their own thing. If they don't cooperate, we cannot exist for a moment. It's only with their cooperation we are existing. This is so from within, this is so from outside. Without taking a breath, you cannot live right now. So that means life is all very intricately connected. Life is one big process happening. It is the privilege and magnanimity of creation that it has given us an individual experience. We have taken this individuality too seriously in the last few centuries, that we are acting like we are a complete cosmos by ourselves. We are a universe by ourselves. Otherwise, why are people so miserable? They are miserable because what is happening in their head is more important than the universe itself. Otherwise, everything is going fine in the universe. One nasty thought in your head and you feel miserable. I'm sorry, I'm shouting because it is a very windy day out here. So I'm just wondering if you're able to hear or not.
I can hear you clearly.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay. So, when it comes to… I thought that saying from Ghana is about, it's the man who makes God dance. You kind of dressed it down because you're afraid of people, God soldiers will come and kill you or do something terrible.
Yes. It's true. It's true. Totally don't come and kill me.
So, I don't know, some people believe God cannot take care of his own affairs and they have to take care of his affairs. If all of them keep quiet, if all of them keep quiet a little bit, world is a fantastic place. It is only people who have a purpose beyond life who are big trouble. The biggest thing and the most phenomenal thing that's happening here is life. There's nothing more than this. Life is the real thing and the source of life is even more profound. But now everybody is talking about a life elsewhere. They don't believe in living here, they want to go somewhere else and live, but they don't go either, they want to take you and go. That's the problem. So, this problem has come because we are paying more importance or more significance to our thoughts and emotions than the creation itself. Our thought and emotion is our making. Our gods are also our making. They must dance to our tunes, otherwise why will we do anything? What does prayer mean? In some way, everybody is trying to make God dance to their tune, isn't it? Every day, everybody is advising God what he should do and should not do, how he should handle the world. We need to understand this. In this universe, we are not even a speck We are just a tiny little speck. But this tiny speck thinks that it can advise the source of creation every day. Day in and day out, they're advising. So if all these people stop advising, maybe things will run better. We call this prayer, but 90% of the prayer is, "Dear God, give me this, give me that, save me, protect me." This is all survival process outsourced through heaven.
It's true.
Survival, if you want to survive well on this planet, you need 4 good limbs and a few brain cells which are working. This is all you need to survive. But everybody's outsourcing survival through heaven, which is a very inefficient way of doing things. And God is outsourcing His militant attitude through human beings and they are standing up and fighting for Him. It is a kind of a partnership, I think, which is an imagined partnership. It's very important to understand spirituality means recognizing life as important enough to pay sufficient attention to get to the source of what life is. If you understand the source of life within you, you will have no conflict with anything. But the moment you believe my way is the only way, there is inevitable conflict. It's been going on for whatever, nearly 2 millennia, but we still don't look like we're coming to our senses. But I believe that probably in the next 50, 60 or maybe maximum 100 years' time, the next generation of people who are super exposed to technology and various other means, I don't think they want to go to heaven unless Wi-Fi is offered, free. No scripture says there is free Wi-Fi in heaven. So, lot of youth in the next generation will not want to go to heaven, they want to do their life here. Well, this may lead to some excesses here, that people start doing all kinds of excessive pleasures, excessive indulgence. For this there is only one solution. A human being has to turn inward to know the greatest pleasure of life is within us, because all human experience comes from within us, whether it's joy or misery, whether it is pleasure or pain, whether it is ecstasy or agony, everything happens from within us. If we take charge of this life, we will determine the nature of our experience. Then, if you determine the nature of your experience for yourself, you will make sure it is the highest level of pleasantness naturally, and that's all you're seeking. Your idea of heaven is just that, everything is fine there. You will be very happy, you will be blissful. You can do it here also.
That's true. Thank you. So, I've been paying a lot of attention to everything that you are doing, or to most of the things that I see you do. And I see you are very big on love and inclusion. And you even put forgiveness aside because you don't even get offended to forgive. Now, my question is, a lot of young Africans in America, Jamaica, Ghana, all of Africa, are beginning to find ourselves. There's a very high sense of consciousness and awakening in Africa right now. But it is not happening at the universal level. It's happening at the African level. Or let me say, yes, at the African level. And what they are seeking to find is their identity. And once you get on that path of being Pan-African or Afrocentric, you find out that something has happened to you in the middle of your evolution. The white supremacists put us through slavery, imperialization, they put us through colonialism, neo-colonialism, their form of European capitalism, and that has confused a lot of us, has confused our education, it has confused our spirituality, and confused a lot of us. But as you are trying to retrace your steps to Akhenaten and all our great ancestors, you get to find out all that nasty stuff that happened to us, especially in West Africa. So how do you now forgive the European imperialists. Not all Europeans are bad, but I mean the white supremacists. How do we forgive them? How do we let go of this immense pain if we find out that they have meddled in our evolution in a way?
Well, that did not happen just to Africa, it happened everywhere. In India, for 250 years, we were occupied, and 250 years ago, India was the richest country on the planet, the largest business country, the largest exporter, 33% of world's trade was from India. But after 250 years in 1947, tomorrow is our Independence Day, that is 75th year is beginning for us now. Once again it is surging ahead. But when they left us in 1947, we were probably among the poorest nations on the planet. And we had 100% literacy when the British came. When they left, we had 93% illiteracy. So, this has been done everywhere. Unfortunately, this has been the history of the world, but I'm saying we should not invest too much in our past. Whatever happened to us, what happened to us, we cannot change. If we learn from what happened to us, if we bring wisdom to us from what happened to us, however brutal it was. During this British era, millions of people died of famine in India. So will we learn from that, will we become wise or will we become wounded is a question. Terrible things have been done to Africa and African people, there's no question, and still it continues in many places. So, the important thing is, when bad things happen to us, when painful things happen to us, will we become wise or will we become wounded? I don't want the African people to become wounded, they must become wise, because this wisdom was lacking in many ways. See, it's a large continent, but each tribe, each segment of people, each ethnic groups, all of them having their own identity and having enormous pride in their identities, never allowed them to come together and resist a few hundred people who are conquering your entire continent.
It's true.
So, this identity that you're talking about, it is good, it is important. We must understand our tradition, our culture is like the clothes that we wear. It should not decide or determine the nature of our mind and heart. It is only the clothes that we wear which is our culture. It is of a certain color. We will wear it joyfully, we celebrate it, we enjoy it, but it should not determine the basic aspects of our life. When that happens, it's only because of that. Even in India, just a few hundred people came in a few ships, but a large country with millions of people couldn't resist them because everybody identified with their own ethnicity, with their own caste, creed, religion, whatever else. I think we need to rise above that. This is what consciousness means. Consciousness is not an identity of the body or of a culture or of ethnicity or of blood or nation. Consciousness means that you have risen above all identities to experience life in its fullness, in its totality, in its inclusive nature. Inclusive nature is not my philosophy or yours. This is the nature of the existence. This is how life is happening. Without inclusiveness, life cannot exist. If you want to breathe, if you want to live, you have to breathe. If you have to breathe, you are breathing what every other creature has taken it into its lungs and let it out today. There is…
Can I ask one more question?
Yes, sir.
Can I ask, so, for example, for an African living in America, say Alabama, and the police people are shooting you down, chasing you down for just wearing a blue jeans and a white shirt, how do you love such a person, even though this person is trying to kill you?
See, it is not about loving somebody, we must understand this. Love and hate, joy and misery, pain and pleasure are all experiences from within. This is something that's happening within you. Both love and hate happens within us. So, right now, what do you want within you? You want love is pleasant for you or hatred is pleasant for you?
Love is pleasant.
Love is pleasant. Please keep yourself that way. It is not about loving somebody, it is about being love. Because love is not something that you do, love is something that you can become. You become love, but action in the world should be as it is necessary. Yeah, action in the world must be as it is needed. Just by making yourself bitter and acidic doesn't solve the problem. So it is unfortunate such things are still happening, but the most important thing is, at least because you mentioned the United States of America, there was a time till 1960s, the laws themselves were discriminatory. But today the laws are equal for everybody, individual people have prejudice. You are not going to address individual prejudice by fighting. You will only address individual prejudice by transforming yourself into a valuable human being. Education, employment, enterprise, this is what is needed, not fight on the street, because if you fight on the street, you will end up in the prison. I have worked in the prisons, like in South India, our programs are mandatory in the prisons. We have also worked in the prisons in United States. But unfortunately, when you invest yourself in anger and hatred, you will do things where you will break the law, and that's all the excuse somebody needs about you. So as a generation of people, we must put our heads down, educate ourselves, employ ourselves, start enterprises, grow in business, grow in politics. This is the way forward. In one generation, we would have done something wonderful.
Thank you. So, I am a rapper, I'm a rap artist, and you know rap
I am a rock and roll, okay?
You know, rap music started with conscious rap because we were trying to solve a problem. But now, the rap music that we listen to now, the more conscious your rap is, the smaller your constituency, the smaller your fan base. But you have been saying that we need more storytellers, we need more conscious rappers. I want to think that I'm a conscious rapper, but since I became a conscious rapper, like other conscious rappers, talking about love, inclusion, climate, sustainability, family, once you begin to put such words in your music, then the number of people who listen to it begins to diminish. How do we solve this problem? Conscious rappers must eat also, you know.
Now do 1 minute of rap for me, let me see.
1 minute. Okay. I rap in my local language.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, so it goes like this. Na ọbọ ẹya ọbọ ahyehyẹ mi na ọtọ kọ so a ọbẹkọ so a gyesẹ mi betwitẹ duasa pẹ ti na tudasi yesu maa yi Matthew 26:14-16 kura ne kaa yi sọpọ teacher lawyer doctor mi ni obi ada ayẹ wada kata na ebi sọpọ mu adwompi ti na wọn naa ekura tèmi bẹpa mi prepare de mi fọhyẹ mpase ma bẹẹma dọ ni lóba na tún pay. So what I'm saying is sometimes when people close their eyes to pray, they pray to God, but they are looking for money. So God becomes a conduit to money. And just because of me, who has become money, people who love their wives can slap them around. Countries go to war just because of oil and gold. But my main idea as money is that I have come to show you the way to mislead you. That was what I was saying. So the song is called Money, Sika.
As I told you, 90% of the prayers on the planet are just about, dear God, give me this, give me that, save me, protect me. Survival, yes. Rooted somewhere else. Anyway, about rap not being popular because you are saying something that is of value to that society in which you live is not true. It is just that a very abusive rap is happening all over the place. Many people are doing very cursing kind of thing, but using curse words, I want you to understand, See, I'm speaking to people all the time, to all sorts of people. I am not using any curse words and speaking. So it's possible to speak and people will still listen to you. 25 years ago or 30 years ago, in our societies, nobody used curse words, there was no such thing. It's only now. As your vocabulary shrinks, you start trying to make the whole sentence with one word. Yeah, slowly it is happening in United States. People are beginning to speak a whole sentence with just one word, same word, said in different ways. So it is not necessary to compromise what we are doing, it is just that we have to transform what we are doing. It is just that, say, if we invest, we must understand this. See, right now to make music or if you want to see music as a… because you said this, there is a certain business element also attached to it. So, you have a plan. Instead of a plan, it is better to have a purpose. Because if you have a purpose, your mind will be unrestricted and it will come out with more and more new possibilities. If you have a plan, it will only go in one way. Plan is a very limited way to handle life. If you have a strong purpose, different plans will evolve. Every day you may sing differently, which will definitely make you attractive to the listeners, and if you touch their lives, the more profoundly you touch their life, they will listen. Right now, maybe the way they are feeling, only if you curse them, only if you use curse words, they are being touched. But that is not true absolutely. You have to look at what is it that is right now most important for them. And if you wrap that, I'm sure it'll touch their life. And you don't have a plan how to do it, just establish a strong purpose in your heart. Plans will come, every day 10 new plans will come in your head. If you have a strong purpose in your heart, if your heart is invested in a purpose, head will generate any number of plans. There will be no shortage of plans at all.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.